You earn these titles and you have these titles when you actually have people underneath you that are leaders. Hi, my name's Devon. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way. I only know the hard way. Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Devon Dickinson, and today I want to talk with you about having correct titles in your company. And I think this is an important topic, especially for new entrepreneurs, because oftentimes there's a real confusion around what title to give, what title you should have, you know, what you call your partner in business and all of these different things. And it's a very real issue. And I know it is because I struggled with it when I was first starting a company. And I know a lot of my friends that are brand new in business start this. For example, I'll tell you a story. A couple of weeks ago, a buddy of mine reached out and he's like, hey man, it's really great to catch up. And he was telling me about his company and how excited he was. And then he was, telling me he's the CEO and his buddy's the CFO, and then he's got a CMO and all of these different things. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then I realized, and I'm like, oh, geez, how many people do you have at your company? He's like, oh, well, it's just the three of us. And I was like, oh, okay. So you're the CEO, your buddy's the CFO, and your other buddy's the CMO. Well, basically all three of you are founders. You're not chiefs of anything. And I had this discussion with him, and you could kind of tell that, he was like a little embarrassed and honestly, probably should be, because I was embarrassed when I did this. And it's important that you understand this, because when you engage in business with other businesses and you have real conversations and you're doing interviews and you're doing presentations and you put on your LinkedIn profile this, that, or the other, and you start making these claims about what your titles are, there's certain assumptions of the size of your business. And so if you call yourself the chief executive officer, what that means is that you are the chief, the head of other executive officers. So what other executive officers are in your company? What exactly are you the chief of, right? And so, and then those people that technically now report to you because you're their chief, well, what are they the chief over, right? Is it just me, myself, and I, and they're the chief of themselves? Or do they have employees underneath them? And technically, unless they actually have real leaders underneath them, they're not the chief of anything. And so when I started my second company, because I did make mistakes on my first company, but when I started my second company, I had very real conversations with the people that I hired. And I'm like, well, tell me what you want to be. And they're like, well, I really want to be a CFO. I really want to be a CMO or CEO or the chief compliance officer, all of these different chiefs. And I had a conversation with them. I said, listen, I'm hiring you right now, and we're, an $8 million company. We're a $12 million company. I hired these people at different points. And I said, listen, I'm telling you what, I'm not handing out a title like that until we're at least over 20 million. And to be very clear, you're never going to be the chief of anything in your title unless you actually have a department underneath you that has leaders underneath you. And at first they were kind of like offended and thought I was being very stingy in handing out these titles. And I was a little stingy, right? Because I felt like, hey, listen, there needs to be a big deal. When you get a title like that, it's a big deal. But I explained it's not only a big deal for the company, this is a huge deal for you, because you're going to then go and put this on your LinkedIn profile and you're going to say, hey, I was the CMO of such and such. And then you're going to, maybe someday you're not with my company and you're going and interviewing at other places and they go, oh, wow, I see you were the CMO of, such and such company. And then they're going to dig down further and they're going to see you're a CMO of a $8 million company. How many employees did you have? How many were in your division, right? You earn these titles and you have these titles when you actually have people underneath you that are leaders. And so if your COO is meeting with the counterpart of a COO that has, 2,000 employees, and they're calling themselves a COO of a 8-person company, like, you're going to get laughed out of these presentations. Maybe not to your face, but when you leave, they're going to be like, these people don't even understand business. We're not doing business with them. We're not even speaking the same language. And so there's going to be a respect that's lost. And so what happens is you not only now have done yourself a disservice, but you've done your employee a disservice. And this is when I explain it to my people. I'm like, listen, when I give you this title, you're going to put on your LinkedIn. And someday, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you might not be working for me. And so I want you, when you go in to this organization, this next organization you might be interviewing at, to actually have been a real CMO, to have leaders underneath you. And we're so worried about impressing people on our Instagram and calling ourselves a CEO so we can buy some and wear some watch that we can't afford and put on our Instagram profile and call ourselves a CEO, when actually you're the founder owner. You're not a CEO of anything. You're the founder owner of a 5-person company. And so you're thinking you're impressing people, and maybe you are impressing your uncle at the barbecue. But trust me, in a professional environment, people are going to see through that in a heartbeat. And you are going to discredit yourself. You're going to do your company a disservice. And anyone that you gave titles to that they haven't earned and don't deserve, you're going to end up doing them a disservice as well. I'm Devon. This is a Whiteboard Entrepreneur, and I really hope this helps. Take a quick moment and hit that subscribe button for more content.